Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is going to be a reading on Tim Walz and his older brother Jeff Walz. I just found out today, although this story is a few days old, that Tim Walz has an older brother named Jeff, and Jeff Walz posted on his Facebook page that he is 100% against Tim Walz's ideology. Jeff Walz lives in Florida. He's donated to Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and is MAGA. There was one post here on Facebook. Somebody asked him, "Help MAGA. Get on stage with President Trump and endorse him. Help save this country." Jeff Walz's response, "I've thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell. Not the type of character you want making decisions about your future." Okay. There's always one of them in the family, isn't there? So Tim Walz and his brother Jeff have not spoken for 8 years for reasons that have not been revealed. Oh, and Jeff Walz also posted that when Trump got indicted, that we've just become a banana republic. So just to kind of let you know where Jeff Walz stands in life. Now, what's interesting to me, when I did readings on Tim Walz, I kept getting something like the Three of Swords, the heartbreak and betrayal card. And I couldn't figure out what was underneath that. This might be it. That, knowing that his older brother and he haven't talked to each other, knowing his older brother has a diametrically opposed political belief, I'm sure is wildly confident in his opinions too, in a Dunning-Kruger fashion. I can only imagine that Tim feared that the families might get dragged into this. So I want to do a general read on the energy around Tim Walz and his older brother, and just a perspective from both men, what's going on. All right, this is for entertainment purposes only. What's the energy between Tim Walz and his older brother Jeff Walz? Okay, 9 of Coins. At the foundation of it, it might be success. Tim Walz has been successful. And it's funny, Jeff Walz was saying, nobody told us that Tim was going to be the VP. We got no heads up. I found out on the news. Okay. Yeah, that probably tracks. Probably was told not to tell anybody, but you go ahead and find a reason to be upset. You do you, boo. Okay, so 9 of Coins is the foundation of the reading. Values, crossed with the celebration, and lack of... and a lack. I think what I'm seeing here, to me, what the first thing that comes to mind is just jealousy. As I was starting off, Tim Walz is successful. He has he's had a successful military career. He has been teaching. He helped coach a football team to a state championship. He's got married, has a couple of kids. He ran for the House and was in the House. He ran for governor. He was successful in the governor. And now lately he's become a vice presidential candidate for the United States. And he's celebrated for it. This could almost be like, oh, he's the favored child type of thing. Now, everybody's always so excited about Tim and what Tim's doing, and nobody cares about me. Underneath it all is that restriction, that lack of expansion, lack of growth, lack of resources, resource guarding, basically. Tim's expanded and his resources expands. If you resource guard, you never expand your resources. You just hold on to them tightly and guard them tightly. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go into values, he's a man. He's worldly. He has values, and his values bring. It's a big tent that brings people in. Whereas brother Jeff keeps his tent is to keep people out. In the past, the Three of Wands, things that were coming up. This has probably just been a difficult relationship for them for a while. I suspect, though, that when Tim Walz got into politics, that's when things really started diverging between the two men. Current situation is the High Priestess. Divine feminine wisdom or just gossipy and petty? And it's interesting because I looked at that one post where somebody was saying, support Donald Trump and help protect MAGA, and the guy's seriously thinking about doing it, but he doesn't know if he wants to drag his family into it. Dude, I'll give you the answer to that. Do not drag your family into this. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Yeah, you will get a short-term boost. You will be put on the shoulders of the MAGA elites and you'll be paraded around as a hero. But what's your heroic deed? Being politically diametrically opposed to your brother. That's your big accomplishment. They're not celebrating you for anything you've done. It's the fact that you're related to somebody and you don't think the same way they do. So they want to exploit that. And they will exploit your family in the process. You are much better off with your anonymity. Just saying. In these crazy political times, take your anonymity. We should ask if he does that. Overarching energy is the Three of Coins. This is the relationship going silent. The Four of Coins, the Nine of Coins. This is the relationship going silent. Sometimes going back to the High Priestess, catty gossip, which is what the GOP want from him, or being wise enough to keep your mouth shut. That's what I'm considering to be wisdom. Now, if you're MAGA, you might think it's the other way around. That's fine. You go ahead and think that, but understand that if he values his privacy, and I suspect that that the older brother does, you're throwing away your privacy. This is a family matter that should have been kept as a family matter. This didn't need to be aired out in the public. But there's probably discussions going on right now, not between Tim and his older brother, but between his older brother and those who would seek to capitalize on this. The lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands. They've had their differences for a while. Are you going to regress? You're not progressing. This is a regression relative to this card in the past. So if you're regressing, it means that you're going to a lower energy. Now, this would be great if you were looking at reconciling, but there's no indication that there's reconciliation going on. That would be the amazing thing to have happen out of this. Is, at the high energy, diametrically opposed, some kind of reconciliation or agreement with that, but I'm just not seeing it. And for those that are watching this saying, yeah, Jeff should reconcile with Tim because Tim's right and Jeff's wrong, Jeff should recognize it. It's the same thing. It was like RFK Jr. and his siblings. RFK Jr. is the one running for office as opposed to Tim Walz. And RFK Jr.'s siblings are saying RFK Jr. shouldn't do this. He doesn't represent the family values. Jeff Walz is saying that his brother Tim shouldn't run for office because it doesn't represent, his values. It doesn't appear that he's speaking for the family's values. And when you look at what Tim Walz represents, I'm going to venture that his family, if you were to poll his deceased descendants, his family would probably approve of Tim's values and the values that he is trying to bring to the White House. Just saying. I think Jeff Walz is on an island here. And in full regression, we get the Ace of Wands. We got the Three of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Ace of Wands. There's like a countdown going here. Strong action being taken. I don't know Fred Flintstone card. I just 3, 2, 1. I am not excited by the prospect of Jeff Walz staying on the sidelines. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to look at this, take a bite of the apple, go for his 15 minutes of fame, and kill any chances of any short-term reconciliations. Because here's what's going to happen. If Tim Walz and Kamala Harris serve, let's say they serve 2 terms. They've already not talked to each other for 8 years. I doubt there's going to be any talking going on the next 8 years. You know what I mean? And then Jeff Walz will be 75 years old by the time Tim Walz is out of the White House. So then that'll be 16 years that they haven't talked. From my age to age 75 or something like that. All right. Will Jeff Walz jump at the chance of supporting Trump and being embraced by MAGA? Basically, will he give up his anonymity and jump at the 15 minutes of fame? The strength card. Strength or weakness? Kind of want to do a 7 card. Normally, this is something I would do a 4-carder on. I kind of want to do a 7-carder, though, because I want to get the whole story behind his decision. Strength card, temperance. Now, at a high energy, the strength card is knowing when to keep quiet and just letting things lie because it's going to get toxic. I don't get the vibe from that. And that's probably because of the MAGA energy. MAGA energy is very low. So what am I seeing here is this is an opportunity for, it's again, if there's like an inferiority complex or jealousy between the older brother and the younger brother, this is the older brother trying to seize the moment, carpe diem, baby, and say, hey, I'm the strong one. This is almost like let's let the dice roll and see what happens with it. Instead of detoxifying, it's, mixing up a new brew. Yeah, Ace of Swords. He wants to. He absolutely wants to. He feels empowered and justified by doing this. This is going to be poisonous. He's going to say something. He's going to say some things that should never have been said. In the past, you got the 4 swords. Yeah, he's just lying quiet, maybe doing his own thing. But it almost just feels like he's been in the shadows of his younger brother. Current situation is the Page of Cups. He's being offered, it's like the genie's offered him, the genie's the fish in the cup, offering him his wishes and dreams. And, he's already got his blue cat hat. What else in his fancy outfit? What else could a man wish for other than those things? Progressing. He's going to try and show his strength and progress. Show he's the right one. Yep, going to keep moving forward with it. And the outcome is the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I think their mother would be disappointed. I think the wives will be disappointed if there's wives involved here. Between that card and these cards showing movement, and you got this vibe that he's justified, that he's saving America with it, I give it a much higher probability that he's going to go forward with it, especially with that card. I think he's going to go forward with it. That Queen of Wands could be, I don't know if he's married. Maybe I can take a look real quick, see if we can figure that out. Hang on. Okay, was successful in finding Tim Walz's older brother Jeff Walz's Facebook page. Not many pictures on it. The Banana Republic comment is on there. The So Glad I Live in Florida comment is there. He does appear that he is married, and there appears to be pictures of it looks like 2 young girls with him, who I'm going to assume are his granddaughters. No pictures of kids though. Just these two young girls. They look like they're 6 and 4, that kind of age. And given his age in his mid-60s, these pictures are probably from about a year ago or so, that I'm going to assume them to be grandchildren. It does appear that he is married, and the reason why I was going with that is his wife may have a say in what happens. He might be, in other words, he might be ready to go do all this, and then the Queen of Wands could be his wife saying, "Don't you dare," or his wife could be saying, "Yeah, I'm right there with you." It's not clear what his wife's political leanings are. I didn't go looking for her Facebook page. I don't know her name. It's not that big a deal, but understand that his wife will help him with that decision. Okay? All right. Sorry, I wanted to pause. I think what the next question is, if Jeff Walz does decide to do interviews and share stories and things along those lines, is this the Tim Walz gotcha moment? Will Jeff Walz, share stories that will break Tim Walz's heart? Or more to the point, I guess there's two readings. One, will it impact the campaign? Then we'll ask how it impact Tim Walz. Okay, if Jeff Walz speaks, is it going to impact the campaign at all? Two of Wands. Little 4-carder on this one. Queen of Cups, keeping a lid on it or spilling the tea. Tim Walz underneath it. The Hermit card. And the Chariot. Oh, these 3 cards all in a row were in that first reading. And this was the lesson to be learned card. The lesson to be learned is the planning and action involving Tim Walz and their values and moving forward with it. And this card was in this as well. Should he spill the tea? Should he go forward and expose Tim Walz for who he is? You got movement going forward. This could, now seriously though, right-wing media is going to go crazy with anything that this guy shares. If he opens the tea and spills tea on Tim Walz, right-wing media is going to go berserk for it because they're trying to do anything they can to save Trump. This will be like the new Hunter Biden type thing. It sure looks like he is thinking about doing it. That 2 of Wands tells me he is thinking about doing it. He's making plans, making arrangements. To reach. If he's the Ace of Wands would be the thinking about it. The 2 of Wands is thinking about, okay, well, how's this going to look? What's this going to mean for us? Now, again, if he was showing high integrity, he would be looking about how it's going to impact him and his wife, any of his kids, his grandkids, that sort of thing. If he's looking at, how will my friends and neighbors view me? Will I be a hero or something along those lines? I don't expect good things to happen out of that. Okay. How will Tim Walz react if his brother Jeff Walz goes public and airing out family laundry and things along those lines? I mean, honestly, what can he share at this point that's not known? Tim Walz has been in the House of Representatives. He's been the governor of Minnesota. If there was embarrassing things going on, likely they would have come out. But then again, we haven't had a family member, so family dirt's the best dirt. How will Tim Walz react to it to his brother if his brother speaks out? The Lover's card. The relationship between the 2 of them and their family. Justice. Look, he's major arcana. There it is again. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Broadcasting. Page of Pentacles. I doubt he's going to say, I'm going to sue you. A cease and desist. It's just, this is just one of those things that he's family. I think this is going to be one of those, we'll get one of those Midwestern spun tales about blood being thicker than water and family and, families fight and argue, something along those lines. He'll cut his brother a little bit of slack. Offer him a peace offering here. But the message is going to be, this is just family dirt. That's with this. This is not, I was saying, this isn't a defamation case here. Nor is it even something that can be proved in a court of law type of thing. It's like he's just throwing opinions. We have different values. Regardless of what my brother says, that's not impacting my ability to do the job. Will he rebut his brother? I don't think so. I don't think he will. And the reason simply is this. If you rebut him, then you've got a back and forth going on, and you're building anxiety, and that helps ratings, versus just ignoring them. Right? And quietly send him a cease and desist letter, I suppose. The other thing that comes to mind is Kamala Harris was being interviewed, and she was asked about the comment Trump made about her just recently being black, and did she have anything she wanted to say about that? And her response was, next question, please. And she's taking the approach of, that statement is so crazy, asinine, stupid, and ridiculous, it doesn't even deign an answer. I'm just going to ignore it. We are going to go to the next question. And this goes back to some comments people said when they said, can we stop talking about Trump? That, when we talk about Trump, it's like and I think Kamala Harris is doing that. It's like, we're not going back. She's not going to go back and argue with Donald Trump over her race. To her, that's a waste of her time and energy. She's already moved way forward past this. And the message is, so should everybody else. You don't have to forget. We're just going to move past that. And you can remember that when you go to vote. So I think Tim Walz will probably do something similar, taking a page out of that book. It's like, okay, yeah, my brother said that, so what? It's not relevant to the campaign that we're running. So I'll go with it from that. So family gossip and dirt, family. It's just family. The Lover's Card said, it's just family. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I hope you found this reading insightful, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.